In this video, I'm going to go over how to use data validation in Excel to generate drop-down menus, and how you can even generate a drop-down menu based on a value selected in an earlier drop-down menu. So I'm going to start with my categories tab here. And so I created 5 different categories with 3 different products under each category. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a named range in Excel for the categories. So for the first input, I want to make sure that the user selects one of these 5 categories. So to do that, I have to assign a named range for these, and that's going to be categories. And so now, if I go to the Data tab again, the first cell here, I'll go under Data, Data Validation, List, and equal to Categories, which is the named range I just set up. And now you'll see I can select only one of those 5 categories. Now I'll pull this down so that this data validation extends all the way down here, and you can see this drop down in here. Now, what I want to do is, okay, let's say I select category 1, but now I want to select from the products in category 1. So now you can see I've put what products relate to what category, but in order for this to work, what I'm going to do is name these products category 1. So go to the named range again, category 1. And the reason I'm not using spaces is because you can't set up a named range that has a space. So if you do need a space, you'd want to use underscores or just avoid them altogether. So category 4 is going to relate to the products under category 4, and so on for category 5. And so I've set up my named ranges. Now, the next thing, what I need to do is set up the data validation for this next column. So again, I'm going to hit data validation, list, and this time, instead of putting the named range, because the problem is I don't know what category the user is going to select, so I can't put category 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I have to base it on the input in column A. So I'm going to use the indirect function, indirect, and I'm just going to put A1. Like that. I'm going to hit OK, and now I'm going to pull this drop down as well, down here. And now when I click the drop down, you'll see I see product A, B, and C, which related to category 1. So now I can select that, and I could do a further drop down if I wanted to, again, based on the value selected in column B. So, but now I'm going to go select category 3. If I go back to category 3, it has products G, H, and I. So now I should see those options here, which I do, G, H, and I. And so as you can see, now it's based, now you can do a drop down that's based on previous selections. And so this is, infinite possibilities as to how deep you want to go, because all you really need to do is set up the named ranges and then use the indirect function to reference the previous selection. And as long as that selection is equal to a named range, for instance, category 2, that is a named range right here, category 2. If it's not, then it's not gonna work. So the key is to make sure that the value selected in column A relates to an actual named range that I've set up. If let's say I get rid of my named range, if I go to the name manager, let's say I'm going to delete category 5 here. Now what's going to happen is if I select category 5, nothing's showing up because it's not tied to this range. This range isn't set up. But it will work for categories 4, 3, 2, and 1 because those named ranges are set up. So that's how you can accomplish that. So the key thing is knowing how to do named ranges using the indirect function and data validation. So hope you find it useful. Thank you.